Morning, Terry. How you doing? You guys lost Chubb and Michelle, who were such a huge part of the offense last year. How confident are you that the new guys plus the offense will be able to handle those defections?
Losing those two guys, it's a big, tremendous effect because those two guys carry the ball a lot for us, and we kind of depended on them a lot. But we know the guys that we have now and the guys that's coming in, they're going to fill those spots pretty good.
Again, if you'll raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. We'll get right down here in the middle of the right.
Terry, everybody's talking about next year's wide receiver class for Georgia with the two 5-star guys, Demetrius and Jaden right now. What is this year's class, or what do you guys as a wide receiver group this year, what do you guys want to prove before you guys leave?
Just the mindset in the room, we're trying to prove that we're the best receiving core out there in the nation. And we have the most talent in everything. We're the hard-working group. It's just, we're trying to put out there's no receiving core that's better than us.
We'll go over here on the end, front left.
Seeing JRE this past season and in spring and in practice, what do you think he brings to the table for y'all's defense from your perspective?
JR, he brings a lot. He brings leadership, the hard contact, and he's just out there leading the young guys into the right direction that we need them to be led in. And he's that voice out there in the secondary that's able to talk to the DBs, the linebackers, and all that type of thing.
We'll go on the back row over here to the right.
So coming off such an outstanding year last year, probably one of Georgia's best seasons in a long time, what's the attitude going into this year?
Just not looking back on last season, just looking forward to the future and taking on our next game, trying to get better at what we didn't have last year, and just trying to proceed with these younger guys and instill in what they instilled in us earlier.
Go back row over here on the left.
Hey Terry, Cam Gaskins, WGXA in Macon. Just wanted to ask about your preparation to be a senior leader on this team. A lot was made last year out of the senior leadership and all the guys you had, so I wanted to know what you've learned from them or kind of what you've taken from them as you prepare to be a senior this year.
We learned from them that it's not going to be easy. It's going to be roads that's going to be bumpy, and we have to overcome them. We have to have everybody bought in to what Coach Smart wants with the younger guys, and just instill in them what the leaders from last year instilled in us.
Front row on the right.
Terry, for you and your teammates, how often have y'all watched the last play from last year, or have you at all?
We watched it once or twice whenever we went back and watched film, but other than that, we don't dwell on the past. We try to look forward to the future.
We'll go back to the camera position right there on the right.
Just two quick questions for you. First of all, you mentioned that you don't want to talk about last year, but how much does last year's loss to Alabama sting, if so, if it does still, and if so, how is the team using that, for motivation entering this season?
For any true competitor, it's going to sting. It's going to hurt to lose that way. But we're not using that as any kind of fuel or anything like that. We're going into off-season workouts as if we're the underdog still. We're still the hunters and not the hunted.
We'll go on the back row right here in the middle.
Predictions are predictions for a reason, but what do you personally think when you hear Georgia is the odds-on favorite to play against Atlanta?
Well, to be honest, we don't really listen to those type of things. We try to keep everything inside our facility as one and try to keep our mindset the same.
We'll go on the end right here in the middle.
What have you heard about LSU's Tiger Stadium, and are you looking forward to playing there this year?
We all know it's going to be a loud stadium. It's going to be a great atmosphere to play in, but we know we just got to go down there and play Georgia football, not let anything change the way we play or the way we prepare for it.
Again, if you have any questions for Terry, raise your hand and we'll get you a microphone. Go right over here to the right.
Terry, you mentioned about thinking you guys can be the best group in the country in terms of a receiver group. Why do you necessarily think that?
Because, just over these past 2 summers and past 2 years, I know everybody in that room is going to work hard and try to give it their all. And I know whoever we put out there on that field is going to make the best play and be in the best position for us.
Go down here in the middle on the right.
Yeah, you sort of had your breakout season last year. How do you keep that momentum going? And then do you think that this year is going to be Riley's year, Nicole's year? Who do you think is going to be the guy that draws headlines this year?
With everybody in that room, it can be any guy in that room because there's so much talent and so much effort that's been put out there in workouts and weight room, and we know whichever guy goes out there and have a great year, we're going to be happy for him regardless.
The back row on the left.
Hey Terry, this time last year there was a lot of talk about Jacob. We've gone through 5 or 6 minutes here without talking about Jake Fromm at all, or even Justin. What do the quarterbacks bring to y'all as receivers and just for this team?
Just to have Fromm back, I mean, it's awesome because now he has a year on his belt. He knows what team's going to throw at him, what he needs to look for, and just having that coach out there. And with Fields, I mean, he's came in, he's done tremendous at practice, and he's showing us why he was #1 player in the nation.
We'll go standing back here on the far left.
Terry, what is it with you and the one-handed catches? Because I mean, we've seen them in the games, right? But apparently I've heard about you in practices, and like apparently you've been doing this for a really long time. Like, when do you remember, were you at a young age, you remember making these like incredible one-handed catches? And I guess everybody in here who maybe wants to play football directly wants to know how you practice this, or is this just something that you that comes natural to you?
Well, it first started in high school,
Okay.
and it was just like a thing that I did, and I worked on it so much coming out of high school, and then I got to college and started working on it even more, and that just kind of come natural. So I mean, it's just a lot of practice going into it.
Go in the back row in the middle.
Terry, what were some early things that indicated that Kirby Smart was going to be a winner and that he was going to, kind of take you guys to the next level?
Just the mentality he brought in, that hard-nosed mentality, that hard work at practice mentality. He makes practice harder than the game. So whenever we get to the game, it's easier than practice. So that's why we're out there. We're not fatigued as much. We're not breaking down things like that, and we're just going hard at practice. So once he brought all that in, we knew that this program was changing.
We'll go standing all the way here to the far right.
Terry, when you signed, did you envision that you guys could be in a position of a program that you are right now?
Oh, yes, sir. I mean, anybody that signs anywhere, you always have that mentality coming in. We're going to win this championship. We're going to be a contender for it. And to actually be there and being a contender, I mean, it's a dream come true. Because for me, a Georgia native, I mean, that's everything that we want from Georgia, except to win it, actually. But, I mean, it's a dream come true.
We'll go standing far left.
Terry, Coach Mars kind of called out some of the leadership in the spring. How do you take that as a senior?
I mean, we take it really hard because we know the leaders from last year, they put a lot into us and a lot into trying to lead this team. So we know what it takes to get there, how to get there, and the steps to take.
Go to the camera platform on the right side.
Terry, last year you gave out wristbands. I think they said humble over hype. What's the message that you want to carry into the young guys this year?
Pretty much the same thing, because that message for us, I mean, God's giving you this ability to be able to be out here on this platform, do the things that you love to do. You can't let the hype overwhelm you. You have to always be level-headed, trust God and everybody around you, and just be the best person you can be.
Any other questions for Terry? We'll get a microphone to you. Go right over here, camera platform on the right.
Obviously, Terry, away from this state, you guys have a lot of fans as well. It might be hard to believe, but Alabama still has a couple supporters there. What's it like to know your fan base expands so big beyond the state and spills into Alabama?
Man, I mean, it's awesome just to know you can walk around and hear Go Dogs or Dog Nation anywhere. I mean, with this fan base, we got the best fans in the nation. And we love their support. We love when they're at the games. It fuels us.
We'll go down in front to the right.
Terry, just quickly about the Rose Bowl. Much different game compared to some of your other big games last year, Auburn, Notre Dame. What was that like as an offensive guy, knowing kind of every time you go out there, you guys got to score because the other team's not going to let up either?
Just knowing that we had to really put points on the board. That's where was our main focus, and going out there knowing that they was going to keep scoring, we knew that our offense had to be clicking on our cylinder, and that sooner or later our defense was going to get tired of that and bear down on them and stop them from scoring.
Go to the second row right here in the middle.
With this year coming up, what are your personal goals?
Just to try to lead this team into the right direction and make sure we're on the best track as possible. Try to make this team the best it has been, and try to build off last year and try to be the best Georgia Bulldogs we can be.
Go to the camera platform all the way in the back on the right.
Hi, Terry. Simone Eli, CBS 42 in Birmingham. You said you're not dwelling on the loss to Alabama, but are you using it as a motivation factor? Is there a message to the team about wanting to finish this season?
We're not using it as any kind of fuel or anything like that, but it is a learning lesson. We learned that you have to play all 60 minutes and even more, but we just have to go out there and play Georgia ball and be the best we can be.
And if you'll raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you for any other questions for Terry. Go back here to the right, camera position.
Terry, what areas do you think you guys have just improved on, from the spring even now with summer ball, just workouts and everything like that? Just what are some specific areas?
Pretty much all over. Defense, offense, special teams. Everybody's out there going hard. Everybody's trying to improve their game, whether it's D-line, offensive lineman. We're all competing. Positions are all up for competition. We're all competing with each other and just trying to push each other to be better.
Go down here in the middle on the end, third row.
Was there a moment when Jake stopped being a freshman in your eyes that you specifically remember?
To be honest, when he first stepped on campus, he's the first guy I've ever seen come into a facility like this and not have that freshman mentality. Every day he's been in the film room watching film. He's out there throwing extra, trying to learn what this defense is going to do before they actually do it. And I mean, it's just amazing because when we're at practice, he knows what all the defense is going to do before they do it. So it's just like he's practicing everything he does in the game at practice or even in the film room. So I mean, it's amazing.
Any other questions for Terry? All right, thanks, Terry.
Thanks, Terry.